We have the return of Dane, Sweeny, legend, one of my favorite podcasts that we've done in the past. We've got a short little interview here before he steps out back on the practice court. But tell us a little bit more about what's been happening. Obviously, I've been watching from afar on Life on Tour, the YouTube and Instagram stuff that you guys have been doing. You've been crushing it. I feel like it's been so good because you've really given an insight of what's actually going on the tour, and you guys are super genuine. Mm-hmm. You're raw, you're honest, you're showing your emotions, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I think it's really important stuff for people to see what's actually going on that side of the tour, because I think a lot of people are afraid of sharing that side of themselves. So I respect and commend you guys a lot on what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
But from watching that stuff, it's been interesting to see that you haven't been doing that well and you've been struggling a little bit. So can you give us a little bit of an insight of what that struggle has been about and how you've managed that and how you've started to look to overcome that moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I had a really good start to the year, qualifying for Aussie and make my first Challenger final. I thought I had a bunch of confidence, and I thought maybe my breakthrough was just around the corner. But tennis is a funny game, and you never know what's going to come. So I started working with a coach shortly after that, and he was a great guy, but it just didn't really gel. So yeah, that kind of, I don't know what comes first, like chicken and the egg. Maybe I just was going to go through a bad patch, but yeah, through that time I lost a bit of confidence in my game and a bit of my identity, and then I lost, I think, 9 matches in a row, which is tough, especially after such a good start to the year. Just to be thrown in the face with nine match losing streak. That was tough. So I just, throughout that time, I just kind of lost my identity in the court and my confidence, and started not really enjoying training, not looking forward to it, just really questioning and doubting myself. And that took its toll. So I just thought, it was time just to step away and reassess my feelings and reassess the way I'm going about it. And I didn't put any timeline on coming back. I just wanted to step away and just see what natural feelings kind of came about and then work from there. So had about 6 weeks no hitting. And
what'd you do in that time? And
honestly, just anything I wanted to do. I didn't have any sort of structure. I wanted to live out of that structure that we have as tennis players of, schedule. You got to train at this time, you've got to be there at that time, you got to leave, you got to pack your bags and be on a flight this time. And it's such an intense schedule. So I wanted just to step out of that, and it was such a relief, just being outside of that. And as much as I loved it, I did, after a little while, kind of crave that structure and crave that, progression, I guess, or purpose. I don't know if tennis is that meaningful in a sense, but or anything we do really, but I did crave that kind of progress, and I think that's maybe built in to us humans to want to feel that. So I started playing again, just casual hits, and I started to really just enjoy the game, and not be so maybe enjoy what I could get from it. I just realized that, and I remembered that love that I had for it, and that came about. So then I started training again, and I went from being really anxious and caught up in how my tennis could go, just to really enjoying it again. And I played America recently, so I think
that was your first time getting back into it.
I trained for about 2 weeks, and then I was going to play the Aussie Futures in Darwin, but I thought, made the really last minute decision to go to America and play Challengers instead. I kind of wanted the Futures as a stepping stone, but I think I was, as much as I had the break, and that would take a toll on maybe my level at that time. I knew I had the level. So, and I think being in America playing Challengers is a bit more of an enjoyable environment rather than, playing Darwin Futures. So, Callum was going to be there. My girlfriend could come to America because she was visiting family in Canada. So I think, America, I didn't do so well there. I lost won my first round qualies and then lost 4 in a row. But
you played some tough guys.
Yeah, though. tough draws. And when I lost the 9 in a row, tough draws. But it wasn't so much the tough draws. I just it was more my level and my inability to kind of sustain a good level. I found like my level was dipping a lot, and I think that came with the self-doubt. And I felt that again in America, but I was, I didn't. The losses didn't get to me. They hurt. They always hurt. But it wasn't such a didn't take a toll on my self-worth as much, or what am I doing in my life? I shouldn't have come back. Maybe tennis isn't for me. There was none of those thoughts. I was really clear at that this was a good decision and clear.
What do you think changed? That helped you kind of like shift, because it's a different mindset you're talking about, right?
I think the break just reconfirmed that I actually do love tennis, and I think I was questioning that before. Maybe I was questioning, maybe tennis is just something I do because that's what I've done my whole life. I've done it since I was 2 years old. Maybe I'm doing it just because of money, which is obviously a big push. But yeah, I think that break really reconfirmed that I do love tennis and I do love the game. So yeah, I think that just made me clear that, this is what I'm doing, and this is what I'm doing right now. And I'm just going to put absolutely everything into it. And I've felt a difference since coming back. I've been an extremely hard worker for a long time, but I've noticed even more. So I want to put even more into this. I've started seeing a hypnotherapist and a breathing coach, Rachel Vickery, who some people might know. Just had a session with her, and I think I don't know, maybe it was a pride thing in the past, but I wasn't really that open to it. I kind of saw my problems as my problems, and how is someone else going to help me with my problems. But tennis is such a weird thing, and I don't know if the human mind is designed to pursue this and be so competitive and be all the things that come with it. So I have been more open to that, and so I think maybe it's hard to know if that stuff's been really helping, and it's hard to know how much the break has helped, but I do definitely feel a difference in my I just feel lighter on the court and lighter about the whole thing, and then taking it less serious, because I definitely feel like on the court that's when all my demons come out and the serious side of me comes out. So that's kind of been I've noticed that that's had less of a toll, and I've been less negative and been less caught up in it all, and just enjoying the journey right now.
Love it. Well, tell me about this hypnotherapist. So what does that involve? Because it's I spoke to another guest about how hypnotherapy really helped him, and how it helped him understand a lot of his patterns in the past. So what sort of things are you doing in that space, and how is it actually helping you in some ways? Yeah,
we're kind of just talking about my journey and what I think I struggle with, and what seems to happen with me. I seem to get extremely serious on the court and very unkind to myself. And off the court, I couldn't be more easygoing. I don't remember the last time I got angry, but on the court, it's my perfectionism comes in, and I seem to be very unkind to myself. And she's just, I think made me realize that voice in my head, that voice of doubt, that voice of tying my worthiness to results, and the voice of what if it wants really the same thing as I want, and that voice that wants to escape the uncomfortable situations on the court by tanking or becoming mentally vacant or not giving your absolute all. That kind of escape, it wants the exact same thing as what I want. It wants me to be happy, and I think noticing that. She's kind of shown me that, the conflict that's always going on the court, trying to pick the good over the bad, it's kind of just a waste of energy, because they both want the exact same thing. So instead of, being really caught up in my head and my thoughts, which I think I can do on court, which it disallows me to be kind of present and see the match clearly. I get really caught up in trying to be positive and really good and not go to the bad side, and seeing that, the
rather
conflict,
than accepting
rather
it all.
than just accepting it all and being okay with it, and not trying so hard to fight for the good side, and just kind of let it be and just put my best foot forward with whatever's in my head.
Yeah, it's so interesting what you're talking about. How often do you reckon you can actually sit above your thoughts and be almost the observer? Because that's really, really challenging to do. Because that's when I feel like you can actually see the game for what it is, and be really clear on what you're doing and what your opponent's doing, and make actual real adjustments in real time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can have little cues to yourself, whether it's, sitting, having a few mindful breaths, or, getting a bit of meditation. But I find that I gotta not let the snowball build up momentum, or else it's, I'm too far gone. So I got to really be onto it at all times, even with like small little outbursts or small little thoughts, or I got to be trying to stay as present as I can at all times and not let it, snowball where it becomes kind of uncontrollable and you start to panic and you start to get really desperate out there and you lose that calm, controlled mind that you need, and especially a player like me that we need to be able to, play our best and see the game clearly and then implement strategies, accordingly.
Yeah. Super fascinating. I think a lot of people need to tap into this. I want to talk about how it's been having a girlfriend onto it. Like, how has that changed your outlook? Has that helped you in any ways? Has that made it even maybe more challenging in some other ways? What's it like for you?
I think the general consensus is girlfriends can make it tougher, but my girlfriend's incredibly supportive and understanding, and she's unbelievably supportive. And I think it's put less of a importance on results. Having the love I have for her and the relationship we have, I feel like it's above tennis. And
That's
not to disregard tennis. I'm still going to put absolutely everything into it, and it actually I think allows me to do that more because I feel less pressure in a sense.
That's interesting.
Obviously,
Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it matters less how I go in a sense because she's always going to be there for me, and we're going to have a great relationship no matter how I go on my tennis. I could have a career high of whatever I've got now, 194 I think it is, or I could become top 10. I think it's not going to change the relationship we have and the love we have for each other. So I think in having that little pressure release, I think it has allowed me to go into it more wholeheartedly. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it had something to do with me having a break. Maybe I was, distracted, but I don't really think, I think if I'm honest with myself, it's, just release that need to succeed. And in that I can go after it even more because I'm less scared of not succeeding.
Mm-hmm. Is it almost helping you with that self-worth? Not that you need it, but it's like you have her there and it helps with your kind of self-worth and just how you think about yourself because she's a bonus or an add to your life.
Yeah, and I think because I admire her so much and she loves me, it's like it automatically makes me think, I must, I must be worthy of love. I think she's so incredible. So I think it's been amazing. It's put things in perspective for sure, and it's definitely been a shift in my perspective. And I'm really happy to have her by my side. I wish she could travel more. She's going to come to Sydney hopefully, and then Japan. But I think the next few years might be a little bit challenging to see each other. But I'm sure, it'll be sweet, and I'm really happy to have her in my corner.
Yeah, open, honest communication.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but that's awesome. Yeah, love hearing that. Yeah. And tell us a little bit more about life on tour. Like I spoke about in the intro, it's awesome what you're doing. What is it like actually being so raw, vulnerable, sharing what this side of the tour is and actually exposing that for everyone to see? Does that kind of affect you, how you play in any way? What's coming up mentally for you actually having a project like that while trying to play at the same time?
I love it. I think in not doing so well, it's almost been something else I can focus on and, put my mind onto. It's so hard to know how they affect you. I don't know. It's really hard to gauge that. But all you can do is, try and see it as honestly as you can. And I think it's been a really good challenge actually to kind of try and test myself to see if I can be really vulnerable. And I think in seeing the response and that we get from just the randoms and obviously some close people, it's been really inspiring to keep it going. I think people were really touched by it, and I think they really just loving the honesty. And that's been a big source of inspiration for me to keep going, and Callum as well. At the start, I wasn't kind of that sure why I was doing it. Kind of just felt right. I don't know. But now seeing the response to it, we're not getting heaps of views, but the comments are more what hits home for me.
100%. The comment engagement's insane.
Yeah, it's been really good, and I don't think it takes away from my tennis. It's not that time consuming. We have someone editing. We have Callum's younger brother, one of my best mates. He's editing, and so we just have to kind of send the videos, and it's been a really fun challenge. We're trying to get a bit more into the Instagram now, and we're reluctant to do that at the start because, I don't know, we just wanted to do the YouTube, but now we realize that's a good platform to try and, get more viewers, and it's a fun challenge to see, can we keep it authentic, but can we also, try and get the viewer count up, because we know people love it, and we also love making it. So.
100%. I love watching it. So what are some of the intentions? Like what are you trying to showcase on the gram, on YouTube, by the content you're doing?
I think more the Instagram's a bit more clickbaity stuff, but we're trying to maybe try and have that as a door for people to see the authenticity of the YouTube stuff. And, that's our number one goal. That's why the videos are long, where people, I think if you're trying to make a really successful account, it's probably better to do small stuff. But we're, as much as we're trying to get viewers, obviously, the number one goal is authenticity. And if we can have a comment thread like we do and only reach the number of people we've reached, then I don't think it's a good thing. That is the number one goal, to try and give people the real life on the tour. And because I think, with Breakpoint and maybe some other channels that I haven't seen much of them, but they don't go in depth too much about the feelings and what they're thinking and their perspective. It's more just the objective tennis and that kind of day in the life sort of things. I think me and Callum are more okay with being vulnerable than most people. I think we're okay with, I've cried on camera a few times.
You both have.
I think
people love seeing that. It's important for them to see.
I think when I released the first video of me shedding tears on YouTube, I was like, what am I doing? Like, what am I actually doing this for? But then I think, people really were touched by it, and I think it's allowed me to do it. It's so easy now for me to be vulnerable because I've done it, and it's much easier than I thought it was going to be. But
but it's coming from like you said, an authentic, vulnerable place. It's not coming from a look at me point of view, which actually comes through. It's not like you're standing there, the classic, like, let's set up a tripod and then show like I'm having a trauma moment with crying, and then they stop the camera after and they're all good. Like, it's real genuine hard moments, which I think is important for people to see, man. I hope it can allow people to tap into their emotions more and make them okay with feeling how they feel, and not, trying to feel how they should feel or how they think they should feel. I think in becoming, in feeling your emotions more, I don't think they'll become so much of a burden on the body and your mind. I think if you can feel them, they pass quite quickly. They might be intense, but they sure do pass. And that's what I've learned from my experience. And as much as it looks like I'm negative and I'm crying, like I think that's what kind of attracts me to pursuing tennis, because there's so many ups and downs. It's really challenging. You're learning so much about yourself, pushing yourself to the limit, like emotionally and physically, and that's what I love about it. So I hope people aren't too worried when I'm crying, and it's been 3 times now. Hope you're okay.
Like, there's a part of me going like, I should be sharing more positivity, but I think people they can see through that. Me and Callum, although there might be some times when we're being negative or down, we're quite positive, and I think this has just been a time where I haven't been winning as much, and that's just how I've been feeling on the court. I could be crying after a loss, but that doesn't mean I'm loving what I do. That's a part of why I love it, because it makes me cry. I don't think there's many people that do something that can make them cry and make them care so much about. So I mean, it's been a really fun project, and I think the more we've done it, the more I've been motivated to pursue it. Yeah,
100%. And if you haven't checked in with what we're speaking about, I highly recommend going in on YouTube and Instagram, Life on Tour, and watch the guys, what they're doing. I think what they're doing is excellent. So love it. Keep going, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Just to wrap up here, tell us a little bit more about, I guess, moving forward. You've had obviously a tough year, but it seems like you're coming out of it. You've learned a lot. You've also had a beautiful part to your life added this year with your girlfriend as well. So it's not all doom and gloom. You've been learning a lot, and there's a lot of good things happening. What do you take away from this year? And I guess, what do you really want to bring into the Aussie summer and the rest of 2025?
Yeah, I think the lack of good results and, having Laura, it makes me less scared of not doing so well, and more just really obsessed with the process, and really getting in touch with what I need to improve on and what things are kind of stopping me from doing well, and just really working so hard that those things aren't an obstacle anymore.
Yeah.
And I think I'm doing a really good job now, and I'm really finding my identity on the court again. And
Nice.
I think, yeah.
What are some of the things? Like, what are some of the like actual specific things that you're trying to actually do better?
Not letting anxiety kind of change my shots and the way I play.
Yeah.
I think not letting fear hinder me as much, and fear's always going to be there. But I think trusting my aggressive game more as well, because I move so well, I can get caught, especially when I'm a bit tight and playing a bit more passive and a bit more reactive. Maybe my court position gets back. Maybe I'm letting the ball play me a bit more, but trying to play my game on my terms. And it's a fine balance, because, you know, I'm never going to be that guy that's going to be able to overpower people, and I move really well. So I think it's a fine balance of trying to just trust my aggressive game, because I think that's the game. If I can master it, that's the game that's going to take me to where I want to be. I think that's the main goal. Trying to just I think just playing around with a few different things in training. Like right now, I'm doing a lot of drilling, and because I find in matches just a few dips in errors and lapses of concentration. I don't know if it's concentration, but just lapses of level. To trying to do a lot of drilling where I'm just not missing, and really having that as a big focus at every single drill, trying to just not miss and just drill that in a lot, so it translates to the match court. And
doing that, but then at a higher speed.
Yeah, but I think more importantly, just trying to be brave and just trust my game. And I've always had the belief that I will make it, even in times of low confidence when I'm not winning matches. There's always been that dangling carrot, and I always had the faith and belief that I will get there. Obviously, when I'm having low confidence, it's harder to see the results coming in the short term. Yeah. But tennis, is such a funny game. You never know when your week could be, and that week could get the ball rolling. So
appreciate it, man. Thanks for making the time, man. Appreciate it, because I know you're super busy.
Thank you.